everybody, and welcome back to Izigo on the Move with me, Nkosazana Tambuza. On today's episode, we're still keeping in tune with Women's Month, and we're going to be speaking to two ladies from DUT who are into life saving. Yes, guys, they're breaking the stereotype that only guys can do it. So they're just going to be telling us who they are, how they became such awesome lifeguards here in Durban. So let's check it out.
We first started swimming in primary school because we went to a primary school that required you to do swimming for PE, and we both weren't very good at swimming. So we started having swimming lessons at Kings Park Pool, and we found a little advert stuck up that said like lifeguards wanted. And I was 6 and she was 8. And so we joined Lifesaving. When you join Lifesaving, it's first as a competitive sport. So it's mostly competitions, running, swimming, doing board races. And as you go older, when you turn 14, you can do a lifeguard award where you get your proper certification in actual life-saving and first aid and everything, and you become a lifeguard. And when you turn 16, you become a proper qualified lifeguard with highest certification. And so that's what we've been doing for the past few years, and we love it. Okay, it takes a lot to be a lifeguard. You need to be a strong swimmer, a strong runner, a strong-willed person, and a strong team worker. Okay, well, it's only my first year at university, so I've been trying to balance it out, and it hasn't been working that well, because life-saving, you have to train to actually keep up and be fit enough to save people and run around and everything. And so it's train on the weekends whenever you're not on duty, and be on duty one Sunday a week that's voluntary, and then Saturdays you can do paid duty. And we try to train as much as possible during the week, so that's early mornings. Sometimes we come in at about 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, it depends on the sun, and we come in and we train.
Interacting with people, the public, is generally a challenge itself, because sometimes they don't listen to us, or they don't have the knowledge of the ocean, so they don't actually know what they're doing. So you have to inform them. And I think that's about the only challenge. Yes, definitely. It's a male-populated industry. There's hardly any women. There's only one professional lifeguard on duty, and then you get like a few. You can count in your hands how many female lifeguards there are on the Durban beaches.
So this book is something everybody fills in the squad every morning. It's the first thing you do when you come to duty. You sign on in the book. Your squad leader writes a name at the top, and everybody else writes their names at the bottom. The torpedo boys are the most important things that we take down. That's like the basis of all our rescues, because most of the rescues are done in the shore break. So it's easier to take a torpedo boy and run in than a board. So the next thing you take down is a board. It's a rescue board. You basically paddle on it straight into the sea, depending on how far your patient is, and you pick up your patient on the board.
We have a rescue craft, which requires a paddle as well, and generally the older lifeguards use this. Still, I don't think any younger ones actually use this anymore. But yeah, you lie the patient down on the front and you paddle them back in.
There's the shark flag, which even if there is no shark around or there's no shark alarm, you still take this flag down anyway. Yeah, you also take down your bathing area flags. This is what goes on top of those 2 big beacons, and they're always up there to show that the bathing area is actually open and there's lifeguards on duty. The person swimming out attaches the belt to themselves, and you swim out with it, and you attach it. What else? You attach the patient to you, or you hold the patient, and the lifeguards on the shore, they'll pull you back by pulling this.
And there's also signals for that.
You generally do a 3-week course, and then you can do your test, and then if you pass your test, then you can become a lifeguard. Generally, the guys in charge, which is the squad leader and the vice squad leader, they pick out an area where it's safe for the bathers to swim. It's generally the area where the waves are breaking straight on, and there's no rips in the area, no areas where there's like holes. So we don't get sticky, and then we come back down and let's carry on with routine.
So you've seen it for yourself, guys. Ladies can do things that guys can do too. Gender is no longer an excuse to not accomplish your dreams. You can do big things too, whether you're a guy or a girl. But that's a wrap from us here at Izigo. You know where to find us, same place, same time, next week. Do tune in, please. But before we go, we've got a really, really cool, awesome and funny Vine video of what lifeguards do. What they're supposed to do. It's really funny, guys. Check this out. Oh my god, lifeguard, help! He's drowning, help!
Oh, I'm not actually a lifeguard, but hey, good luck with that.
I'm coming, boys! I'm coming to save you. Oh, hell no, you're on your own. I cannot swim.
Oh my god, he's drowning. It's okay, you're safe now.